All right, let's get started. Welcome, everyone. First off, I want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your day to learn about AI. This is our last series, so please take this opportunity to write down all your AI questions as well too. I'm going to save time to the very end to answer all of them. We've covered a lot through this five-part series from productivity, social media, automation, and so much more. And so this episode today, we're going to talk about the essential tools just for personal productivity, just for your everyday life, for you just working as a professional. What are the best tools to help you get more done in a day than most do in a week? The way I've kind of split this up is that half of it is AI tools. The other half, surprisingly, is non-AI tools because they are just as powerful as a lot of AI tools out there that if you add those into your routine, they're going to be just as powerful. So that's why I always, to this day, there's a blend of what I use every single day. Not everything is AI, but I'm going to show you, and not to also overwhelm you with like 20 different AI tools that you may or may not use. I just picked like the top 10 at the end of the day. These are the top 10 AI tools that you can start using today to help you get more work done effortlessly. So this meeting is going to be recorded, so you'll have the recording at the very end. I'm going to save time to the very end to answer all of your questions. And let's get started. Wonderful. So as I mentioned, this is Jonathan Acuna, owner of Simple Tech Skills. We have a online community that provides courses, training, and mentorship to teach business owners how to use AI in their business because every month AI changes. And so the tools that we will even talk about today, next month they're going to get improved. Some are going to get replaced, and some are even going to get upgraded. So it's like that's the weird thing about AI. 1 month in AI is technically like 6 months in the real world, and so it's very important for you to stay up to date with AI. So let's get started. So the way this presentation is going to work, half of it's going to go through AI tools, and the other half I'm going to go through that are non-AI tools, but just as powerful to help you manage your time, manage your tasks, and manage the things that you have to do every single day, as well as your calendar. So let's get started. Nice. So if I had to pick one AI tool to help me manage very simply, the biggest elephant in the room is your tasks and your calendar, because that's fundamentally what's going to dictate what you should be doing when. Motion is an all-in-one tool that uses AI to literally, it's like having a personal assistant that's managing your entire calendar and the tasks that you have to do. So this one tool alone, as I can highlight the most, that you could sign up today, play with the trial, and this is really going to help you manage your time and tasks because we have a lot of things that we need to get done, and we have a whole calendar that we have to manage. And this one tool, AI, is going to manage everything for you, which is super nice. Um, it's almost like having an executive assistant, honestly, because you can manage both tasks, projects, calendars, meetings. It's like hiring an executive assistant fundamentally. You could put everything in it all in one. So you have your projects, your tasks, your meetings, your notes, your dashboards. It will help you brainstorm ideas. It will create calendar events. And then more importantly, it will also help you organize your calendar so that it will actually move events around for you based on priorities or things that you have to do, or even move things that could be a time conflict or anything. So it's going to allow you to just manage your day much easily all in one. And then you could do tasks. It even has an AI note-taking tool because you could give it, at least for the tasking, give it all of your tasks and it's going to prioritize them for you, which is super nice. And then nothing falls through the crack, which is very powerful. And it's great for teams too. So if I had to pick just one today, that's really, you're going to walk away, that's going to like change the most. Honestly, Motion is going to do a lot of managing your time and calendar from there. Next one, Fathom, AI note-taking tool. There's a lot of different ones. There's Otter, Fireflies. Fathom is actually the best out of all of them. It's probably the only tool that I'll actually have that here that's relatively free with some. So the cool thing about Fathom is that it's going to basically it's completely free. It syncs with your calendar. And then from there, it will automatically invite itself to all your calendar events for your meetings. Now, the nice thing is that it's going to do multiple things that's going to save you a ton of time. One, it's going to record a video of the entire session. Second, it's going to email both the video and the transcript to everyone that is CC'd in the event. Third is the transcript itself, you can actually change it. So say, for example, if it's missing meeting notes or even timestamps, you could click on it and give it a prompt to change it in a certain way. Like, I just want 3 action items. I just want a 1 paragraph of a summary, something like that. You could rewrite the transcript any way you want, and it will rewrite it for you in the format that you want, which is super nice. The other really cool thing that I like is that not only does it save this for the history as well too, but you could come back and you can now chat with the event basically. So the transcript. So you could ask it questions like, what why was the meeting scheduled? Or you can ask, what was the key thing Jonathan said? Or what was the 3 things, action items that I need to do today? So you can actually chat with the transcript to get feedback, even determine the sentiment of it. Was the client happy? Was the client mad? Is there something I could have said differently? So it's almost like having a little chat assistant that's going to help and coach you. And then this automatically gets sent to the client. So this is just a really helpful thing because we're in meetings all day. So it's really helpful to have an AI meeting note that's completely free. And at the very end, you'll get the email for the whole summary, which is super nice. Email management is a time suck. We all have emails. There's a lot that goes into like managing which ones are a priority, responding quickly, and then also removing any spam, unwanted messages so that you could just spend time in the email inbox and get to what are the most important emails without any of the noise or anything else. So Superhuman AI is just for managing your email. It's almost like having an AI assistant be in there. It can automatically write replies. It can also remove any spam. And it does a lot really fast, like, which is super nice because at the end of the day, the more time that we spend in emails is less time that we could spend with clients. So this is like having an AI agent built into your email inbox, and it's going to manage, it's going to organize, it's going to create follow-ups. You can also collaborate with your team as well too if you have a shared inbox. So this is going to save you a lot of time also with templates and snippets. That's all in there. It uses AI to even write replies as well too, so that you don't even have to think about, oh, what should I type or something, so that it's going to just give you an exact answer of what to reply automatically so that you could just boom, 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 go through the emails as quickly as possible so that you get more time to spend with clients at the end of the day. Keyboard shortcuts are actually really cool. If I had to pick one AI tool out of all of them, technically there's two. ChatGPT is the most versatile, but not for the reason that you're thinking of. It's actually just for custom GPTs. Custom GPTs allow you to build tools specific to your business and what you do day in, day out. If, for example, for me, I have to summarize meeting notes into action plans, and I have to do that 3 times a day, which takes an hour. So custom GPTs are like tools that you can prompt to say, hey, I want to give you some information and you format it for me every single time. So these things are very powerful. There's really 2 flavors of custom GPTs. There's what's called tools and there's advisors. Tools could be something like, hey, when I write property descriptions, this is my writing style. These are examples of previous work that I've done before. I want you to write, whether it be emails, whether it be property descriptions, whether it be executive reports or stuff to send to clients over and over and over again. If you send even a newsletter in a certain way to your email list to keep them up to date with new properties, what's going on in the market, industry updates or stuff like that, you can create a custom GPT that knows everything about your business because in the brain you can upload all sorts of files and PDFs basically, so that this GPT has either examples of previous work, especially for like, say you're doing an email list, even notification stuff like that. This thing will take any input and output it the way that you're doing. If you're doing standard, even if you're doing sales reports and trend analysis, you could take screenshots of it, give it to your GPT, and this GPT can give you an answer of like, here's market trends, quickly screenshot properties to give you analysis on it, if it's a good deal or not, what to look out for. So GPTs are very powerful to build tools to help you whenever you have to do a repeat task over and over and over again, especially with writing something, that it's going to, you just give it the input, it's going to give you the output as well too. Works great, especially for creating social media content. The time it takes to create a script, oh, what should I say on camera? What should my topics be? Even writing scripts for short form social media, like shorts, like TikTok or even YouTube. That's where it can actually write a whole script based on something that you just created about. So I'm just gonna say real estate trends to watch in 2024. So this GPT is customly designed to just write a 40-second script, hook, call to action, value already specifically. This is just going to save you a lot of time with having to do something over and over. The next one that I highly recommend everyone should be creating is an AI business coach or even a real estate expert coach. Because this right here, if you put in the brain everything about your ideal clients, what they struggle with, what are their goals, what are their pain points, everything inside here, especially all the details about your business, this GPT is going to become like a business coach that you can just talk to. When you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, how can I either close more deals? How can I market my properties better? How can I help my clients better in any way? Custom GPTs you could just talk with through the voice on the mobile app so that you can get, it's almost like speaking to an expert, and you could feed it with all sorts of different information, from books to industry reports to even your entire MLS, basically, so it can search for the right property for your ideal client. You're like, hey, we're looking for this, whether it be number of bedrooms, whether it be a number, even you could upload like a whole spreadsheet actually, which is actually kind of wild. And basically think of it, not instead of searching the MLS, you can actually chat with the MLS. You could think of it like and upload a spreadsheet of all the properties, all the details, so that you're like, my client's looking for this, this, and this, and it will actually respond with what are the best properties and why, give the URL to go check out the Zillow or anything like that, and even craft an email that will say, hey, Sally, this is the perfect property I think is for you because you're looking for XYZ. So it actually could write the email for you that you can automatically send it to your client when you're helping them find their dream home, for example, or even sell a property, for example. Here's what your home is worth. Here's the reason why. Here are things to look out for. Here's how fast we could sell it for. Here's our whole process. It could write out a standard template email that you can use to streamline your process fundamentally. Custom GPTs are so great. Now, there's three levels of AI. There's daily drivers, which is like ChatGPT. Go to it for like questions, custom GPTs, answers, stuff like that. Then right above that, well, actually, let's go down below that, is AI writing assistance, because we're always either writing a response, whether it be in our team, like Team Slack or like Microsoft Teams, Slack, or even writing emails, for example, or even just writing property descriptions or something like that. There's no need. The challenge that comes with is like, oh, the time it takes to open a tab, open ChatGPT, give it a question, a response, or say improve this writing takes too much time. So Cider is an AI tool for like $10 a month, which is super dope. It lives in your browser, which is that it does two things really cool. So Cider allows you to, if I take, let me see if I could get a, oh yeah, I could take this text right here. Uh, Let me grab this. Let's grab an example. So say you're working in, it could be an email, it could be a blog post. Okay, there we go. Give me a short, let's say of a sentence. Hi Sally. This is your dream home. it costs X amount. We can close it in Y time. Looking forward. My writing is horrible. Whatever you write anywhere, it could be an email, it could be anywhere basically in the browser. What happens is if you highlight that sentence, this little pop-up comes up right here that says copy and approve. So Cider actually, you don't even have to leave the browser. You can highlight your text for writing emails or anything, and they have these pre-made prompts where you can, there we go. You can improve the writing, make it simpler, fix the grammar, make it shorter, make it longer, answer questions, anything like that. Whatever is highlighted, it will add this to a prompt. So I could just quickly say, hey, I want you to improve. So make me sound smarter. And then you could click replace and it will rewrite it with perfect grammar or in your style, make it formal, make it more professional. So it's just a writing assistant to help you with whichever tab that you're in. The other thing is that it has a Chrome extension that comes out to the right side. And here, without having to leave the tab, you can now get access to all the best AI tools, whether it be DeepSeek, Gemini, Claude, ChatGPT, and so forth. And you can ask questions, you can upload files, take screenshots, say, hey, I'm thinking about brainstorming this. It's basically you get full access to all the different things you could do with ChatGPT, but now you don't even have to leave the browser. So it's just going to save you time from opening a tab, going logging in and find that conversation or just asking us a quick question. It's all within the same tab. So these are like small writing tasks, writing assistants that's really going to help you save time. ChatGPT is for more daily driver, pretty much using it, and especially for custom GPTs and tools. And then we'll get into the two next levels that are above it. So different AI tools for different use cases. And Cider, honestly, it saves me like 40 minutes a day just in writing. The problem with large language models is that they don't have access to real-time information. Yes, ChatGPT can search the web, but it's not the best at searching the web for real-time information for answering questions. So there's two tools that are really good at getting real-time information because what happens is what you're trying to prevent is hallucination because if the AI doesn't have the answer, you don't want it to actually make up the answer. So two tools, one is Perplexity. And Perplexity is great for searching the web because let's be honest, Google is officially dead as far as a search engine because basically all it is going to give you a nice little summary when you ask it a question. What are Perplexity is actually going to search the equivalent, the way I like to think about it is like the first two Google search results, basically. And then it's actually going to give you a much more detailed answer. Plus, it's also going to cite its sources, which is super nice. So that's actually going to prevent hallucinations. So if you need questions answered from market trends, what's the right neighborhood, prices going up or down, reasons why anything happens, Perplexity is really robust as far as searching the web, finding you the exact answer that you need, so that you don't have to read 20 web pages to try and figure out the answer, basically. So there's actually no need to go to Google anymore. Odd. The only two apps really that I have on my phone that are AI is really ChatGPT and Perplexity. Between those two apps, I'm talking with them throughout the day to get a quick answer or to use my custom GPT for like strategy, especially for copywriting. That's a whole biggest thing too. What should the landing page, what should the offers be, stuff like that. So Perplexity is going to give you answer whether it be legal questions, market trends. I had a client reach out for legal questions today, and actually Perplexity actually was really great to answer what was the up-to-date legal laws in their city and what they should do as far as an action plan. That was something that would have took me hours to try and read websites to try and find the answer. But it's not the ultimate one. We'll actually talk about that one next. So actually, let me go to that one. GenSpark. So if Think of Perplexity replaces Google fundamentally. Reads the first two pages of all the search results, answers your question, cites the sources. But what if you want something really comprehensive? You're looking for a deep analysis on industry trends of properties in your area, something that you could give to your client or something like that. Like if you want really comprehensive, I always equivalent them to like Perplexity is like a high school research, and GenSpark is like a university level research. GenSpark is equivalently going to search the top 10 pages to actually find the answer, and it's going to go deep into whatever deep analysis, comprehensive research reports that you're trying to like find out. For example, GenSpark is very powerful. It's actually so powerful that it can actually call make reservations on your behalf, which is actually kind of wild. So for example, let me just go to like a history of something. Um, let's just pick this one. So what GenSpark does is after it gives you, it searches the web to find out all the information. It'll search like almost like 50 web pages, which is kind of wild. It will give you this thing called a Spark page at the very end. So you're like, you asked it a question. Hey, find me the best AI tools for real estate agents. It's going to give you a whole comprehensive list. But the cool thing is this what's called a Spark page. So it actually give you the answers and format them in three parts. On the left-hand side, it will give you like a table of contents so that you can quickly see what are all the topics. This is actually really good for writing books as well too, comprehensive reports. Then it's going to go deep. It's almost like a Wikipedia article. It's so comprehensive as far as what you're looking for. It also will show all the resources that it cited, but then you don't even have to answer or even read the whole thing. It gives you a chat bot on the right-hand side that you can now chat with your document to find out what's the number one best tool. And so it's going to read your now Wikipedia article basically. And then so here you could just chat with it basically, which is super nice. So it's like having a real thorough researcher for your team. And then you could just chat with it. It is very comprehensive. There's a lot of people using like this basically replaces Manus. Manus technically is still the best as far as the ultimate researching agent, but the problem is that the credits make it completely unusable. So that's why everyone has adopted GenSpark as the number one researching agent, because this is it's going to go way more comprehensive than what Perplexity can do. So those are two researching just to try and find up-to-date information on the web for anything. Next one is your workhorse, something that has deep reasoning, comprehend or deep, you want to call it thinking reasoning. That's Gemini 2.5. So as of today, Quen still just came out. So what's nice about Gemini 2.5, you could dump the equivalent of 6 Harry Potter books into the context window or into the message box. So you could give it a ton of information and have it do some work for you. This is where it's a very powerful, it actually writes even better. It can help you plan, do strategic planning. You could dump it your whole all your documents, and then it could find an analysis about it, even a whole database of MLS you could give to it and have it determine patterns, trends, stuff like that. Gemini, and then there's kind of two ways to access it. You can access it one from Gemini.Google. They just moved it over to the actual user base here. But I really like just personally, I still like going to the studio version, which is aistudio.google.com. And this is on the back end. This has been my workhorse as far as like if I need something that's like critical thinking. Traditionally, it would be like Gen or DeepSeek, but DeepSeek got replaced with 2.5 Pro, at least from Gemini. So this is like a really powerful critical thinking agent that I'm not going to get from ChatGPT. Even the O1 model, this thing trumps, which is so super wild. Now let's talk about a personal AI agent that can help you with responding to emails, qualifying leads. Gemini said, I'll definitely answer that question. What's the difference between Gemini Studio and Gemini? They both function the same, but Gemini Studio is gives you more settings on the back end to kind of like tailor it, configure it. The Studio version they just released, or at least the regular Gemini, it's the same model, just accessed from two different websites. But if you're think of it more if you just want user friendly, easy to use, then get it from the regular AI or just regular Gemini dot. I think it's like, ooh, let's go here. There we go. So the regular website, this functions and looks just like ChatGPT, but sometimes they don't release all the features that you get from here. So that's why they were actually slow for actually playing with like 2.5. But they just recently gave it to everyone. So it was like the studio version was like early access basically. So you get early access and you get to do all sorts of different things to customize it from there if you just want more settings. If you want just plug and play, you could do it from the Gemini Studio, but they're just slow to release from there. Tom says, what are your thoughts on Notebook LM as a researching assistant? They have a new source discovery. Notebook LM is more for taking your information and converting it into like a podcast or audiobook or a summary, basically. It pales in comparison when compared to GenSpark, which is because the only two things whenever I think of a researching assistant, it's either going to be Perplexity for a quick question, GenSpark for a deep comprehensive research. If I want the best of the best, honestly, it's going to be Manus. Manus is wild as far as what it can do as far as researching. It's gonna cost a little more, but it's like way more for example. And we actually did a test too of all the different researching bots. So although they quote unquote do deep research, even like ChatGPT o1, it's not the best. And so that's why I like separating the tools for whatever task that you're working on. I want to find the best tool that's going to allow me to work more efficiently. It's actually designed for that use case because you'll see a lot of them. They start with one use case and then they start adding other things. For example, like Canva doing presentations and websites when it's just good for graphic design fundamentally. But yes, I kind of stay away from all-in-one tools or things that are outside its original use case. And my workflow, I'm usually flowing between ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Jet and Spark, and it's really more powerful to if you're comfortable with flowing through between the different tools and choosing the best one for the right task, for example. Because what happens if you use Notebook LM for research, you're going to get like a Perplexity like answer, which isn't much not anything to compare of when you're playing with something like GenSpark. But then Notebook LM just basically turns your actually they just released a new feature is actually kind of cool is they just now do multilingual, which is actually cool. But great question, Tom. Lindy. Lindy is a very powerful, is probably the easiest of all to use not only AI agents, but automation tools in your business. Um, because there's a lot of other ones I talked about, Make.com, NAN, Zapier, and stuff like that. But if you want an easy to use AI agent to automate your customer support, emails, schedules, reply, qualify leads when they reach out, for example, Lindy is actually really powerful because it's very simple to use. If you ever play with Zapier, for example, you can set up these really powerful automations that it can take phone calls, automate emails, streamline meeting recordings. Like and it integrates with most of your business tools already out of the box. So if you want to get into agents where you're giving them tasks and you're saying like a Zapier kind of thing, hey, do this, answer this, interpret this, right? Even you could do, for example, when a lead comes in, automatically qualify them based on these questions, or when they fill out the form on my website, I want you to write to them a personalized email. You could even ask it to go and find their information on LinkedIn to take some of the information and then also personalize the email from there. So especially for outreach, it does a lot of personalization, customization. So Lindy, especially when we get into AI agents, this is just one of a few that are very powerful. There's actually another one called Relevance. Relevance AI, you're kind of building, this one's kind of interesting because you're building AI agents. Think of them like if like two custom GPTs. So you could create technically an AI workforce. this kind of makes sense. So you can, if you worked with custom GPTs, basically the difference between a custom GPT and regular chat is that it has some personalized knowledge and it's customized for one specific input and one specific output. For example, like, hey, if I feed you a content idea, like I found this article on the web, I want you to write a 40-second script that I could say on social media, for example. So that's what custom GPTs are. But the problem with custom GPTs is that they're kind of stuck in OpenAI world where they don't talk to each other. They don't have access to any tools. They can't really do any actions per se. So that's where Relevance and also Lindy basically solve that problem where they're like, hey, you can actually build a team technically of AI agents that can pass information one to the other. Like, hey, client is interested in a three-bedroom, two bath. They're a family and they could afford X. It could go find, search the database similar to the MLS, but just saved in like Google Sheets, find the right property, personalize an email for them, send it out automatically, and then notify your team or update your CRM all automatically. So the way to think of it is like, say you had custom GPTs that you could connect together. So one talks to the other, one's an expert at this, the other one's an expert at that. And then they also have access to business tools, Slack, Teams, email, updates. It can update your CRM, for example. So now you're building a little team of AI agents to kind of do a lot of, if you have, again, repeat workflows that you have to do over and over and over again that you wish was automated in a better, in an easy way, you're going to choose one of these two tools, either Lindy or Relevance, to build these agents to actually automate your work, which is these are actually going to become more popular because technically businesses are going to hire more agents than actual employees. So these guys are like having an army of personal assistants to help do or streamline a lot of your tasks, for example. Gamma, presentations. This entire presentation, I have no I'm like my graphic skills suck. And you've seen the presentations before. They look like a fifth grader created them, let's be honest. So this whole presentation was designed using Gamma. Gamma will create and it's so easy for presentations. I'm never going back, honestly. That was something I had to learn within the last week. So Gamma allows you to easily create presentations effortlessly, beautifully on your brand and actually do graphic design. I can't like how much like time it took me to actually create presentations. This thing actually just cut it down to almost a third. And it's almost like I have a personal assistant that I'm like, yo, you know what? Actually change that image or rewrite this text or create a slide. And technically my workflow was I did GenSpark for comprehensive research. I took that information, I gave it to ChatGPT to turn it into a slide by slide outline. And then I took that outline and gave it to Gamma to turn it into a presentation. And so it drastically cut the time it takes for me to create presentations, like literally almost a third of the amount of effort. And now I could kind of have more fun with stylizing the graphics, adding different slide. It was actually, I'm never going back to like Canva or anything else for like presentations. This changed the whole game as far as like how to actually create presentations. It's actually very easy to use too. Graphics. So it's just going to up your game as far as making very powerful professional slides, matching your brand, adding AI images, it stylizes it, formats it, very easy to talk with AI to make any changes like, hey, I want a slide about blah, 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 whatever. And then it will actually go through, turn it into text, add the relevant image, and do all of that fractions of a second, like save me so much time. I think it's only $10 a month, worth it. Of course, the annual plans, you can always save more money. Cool. Just as powerful as AI tools, because let's face it, not AI can't do everything. There's still a lot of other tools that I'd use day in, day out that I'm actually more productive if I don't give them to AI, for example. And so these are my non-AI tools that still allow me to get more work done in a day than most do in a week. I can't highlight Notion enough. If you have multiple tabs and you're storing your notes in Google Docs, Microsoft Word, Apple Notes, Evernote, Obsidian, any of those tools, Notion is so powerful as your second brain and file storage to just dump all the important things, not only about yourself, but your business as well too. But more importantly for the organization, our team that you're in, SOPs is also one of the most powerful use cases of it. And just as a quick kind of thing, most people take Notion and go wild as far as like dashboards, reports, and like, or dashboards and 14 different lists. I've been using Notion close over like 5 years. I've simplified the whole process of Notion just using this one list or database right here. Because the whole goal is to say, hey, I have a file, I have a note, I have a video, I have an article, I have something important knowledge-wise that I need to just quickly save, or else I'm going to lose it. It's scattered on my computer. It's in a bookmark page somewhere, for example. Notion is just, I think of like hot potato, just quickly give it to this one. This is the best template that I've actually created. And please don't learn Notion from anyone on YouTube. They're actually going to make it. That's why it's so confusing for a lot of people. Like, oh, which template? Which one do I use? One database. One list of all the tools. For example, what's a list of the top 10 AI tools I use every day? Because I reference this when I go live and stuff like that. It's all quickly saved here. And the great thing about Notion is that, let me go to another kind of list. You can save different media files. You can't do this in like Google Docs or like Microsoft Word. You can save everything. So I do a lot of marketing research. And so here I can see table of contents. I can see a whole PDF file. I can have my links saved. I have text that's just organized and structured right here. What I'm showing here, or even whether it be images, for example, like this is just an image. You could also add YouTube videos as well in here. The main thing of what I'm showing is in one infinite page. I could dump any type of information, text, video, image, PDF, and it has a limited file storage. And this is very important, especially when you get into SOPs. If you ever want to delegate any work to either one of your team members or to a virtual assistant, you're going to build your SOPs most likely in Notion or ClickUp fundamentally. And so this is going to allow you to just store it all in one information so that when you're like, hey, where's that file? Where's that note? Everything is in one master list that you could search for. I don't know, what is the best when I talk about digital marketing? Oh, I could just search right here and then I could find all the files that are like, okay, I'm working on a digital marketing course. Here's all of the resources that I need, the notes, the files, the links. Everything is just saved in Notion, not saved on my computer because if anything happens to my computer, I lose all my data. So you get infinite storage for like $9 a month, which is actually wild. So I cannot stress Notion enough because I see a lot of entrepreneurs that are using basically Google Docs to organize all their notes, and that's the worst way to actually learn. They have 14 tabs, and each one's a Google Doc or a Microsoft Word file, and all the information is scattered everywhere, and they got to find that tab, and it's like it's just unproductive. We all know about ClickUp because I've talked about it through this whole series. If I had to pick one CRM, one task and project management tool for your whole organization and your team to work collaboratively and streamline your whole workflow and add automation as well too, ClickUp is so powerful because from here you could even integrate it with some type of automation tools if you want to take information from ClickUp, automatically trigger an automation to fill out a contract in like say Jotform or DocuSign, for example. And then when it's done, come back and update the CRM all automatically. When tasks are assigned to different team members, they fill out a lead on the website. It automatically goes in to the CRM from here, notifies a specific team member, and then when they do their part of like the task that they have to do, it can automatically switch assignments over to another team member so that they can now immediately pick up where the other person left off. You have file storage, you have basically document management in it. You have a whole sales dashboard or even team workload dashboard in there too. So it allows managers basically to get a full 10,000 foot view of the entire workload for everything across marketing, sales, operation, finance. Everything's streamlined so everyone knows what's being done when, so nothing falls through the crack. That's where ClickUp is like super powerful for that. When it comes to social media management, if I had to just pick one tool, this was just one I quickly adopted. Metrical is actually so powerful to actually schedule and publish because you want to actually see the impact of the content that you're creating, how it's actually driving traffic to your website. So for me, I publish on multiple social media platforms. So Metrical has actually been great as far as automatically scheduling multiple forms of content across all my social media. But the real powerful tool is the analytics. I can actually see the impact of how my content strategy and the specific type of content that I put out, long form and short form, is actually driving attention and leads to my website from here. Then I get full deep reports on basically how my social medias are growing, what content is actually resonating with my ideal audience, and why did someday I get a spike in leads. I can actually go back and find out exactly what was the piece of content that actually drove that increase in leads and traffic to your website. So this is just one app to manage all your social media accounts all in one. It's actually pretty wild. I love it. Surprisingly enough, the way I manage my entire day, my day, time management comes down to just two apps because I got to get a lot of work done both for personal life and for business life. And AI just isn't there, at least for me and the type of work that I do, for example, because I got to move mountains of works of all sorts of stuff. TickTick is actually the best task management for your work and for your life. I cannot stress about TickTick. Like, I would not be able to get any work done or stay organized or even manage my calendar and work and things I have to do if it wasn't for TickTick. It's only like $4 a month. This thing runs my entire personal life and business of all the things I have to do. Because basically, when we talk about working efficiently, comes down to time management. I have to manage my day down to the minute in order for me to switch between coaching, creating content, working with clients, working on the community, building and working on the business, then working on in the business as well too. So there's many different roles and tasks that I have to do throughout the day, but I have no stress, no overwhelm, no anxiety about any work that I have to do because everything is saved in TickTick. And the way it kind of works is you have two lists, and it's very simple, two lists, one for work and one for personal tasks. Then you'll have a list of all the things that you have to do across your personal life and for work as well too. Then on the right hand side, you get like a bit more detailed breakout of like the projects. You could put files, resources, notes, all different checklists of all the 14 things you have to do for that specific task. Prioritize it, block it on the time or block it on your calendar because I need to manage everything comes down to time management, and I define time management as time your skill set in time blocking, how well you can manage a calendar at the end of the day, because everything that you have to do in your entire life has to roll up to a master calendar. So TickTick is actually going to be the best to manage all the workload across all your projects and tasks. So much so that kind of like the last one here. And the last ones, although they may seem, well, actually, let's do this one. TidyCal, if you use Calendly, oh my God, it's so expensive. Um, TidyCal is actually does everything Calendly does, but it's only a one-time price of $39. So you get unlimited calendar scheduling, especially for you and your team as well too. So that I just send out links to everyone, and then that's how people can get on my calendar. I do not waste time going back and forth with trying to find out what's the best time. Are you free on this time? Are you free on that time? What's your schedule on Thursday? Or even worse, because well, for me, I work, I don't want to say globally, but a lot of my clients are not in my time zone, let's say. So I have to work across different time zones as well. So this will automatically detect time zones, create unlimited calendar events, very easy to create events. And you could also integrate it with Stripe to actually charge for any bookings and stuff like that. So if anyone needs to get on my calendar, the only way they can is by using a TidyCal link. I know it seems rudimentary, but 60% of all the clients that I coach do not have a password manager. They're still trying to figure out they have an Apple Notes, they have contacts, they have a note file somewhere where that saved all their passwords. I can't, and the time it takes to find the password, for that, I cannot stress enough because all of these tools fundamentally, they're all designed just to save you time. That's all they do is allow you to work more efficiently without having to find or search, whether it be an information, a task, or a password or stuff like that. I know it seems silly, but I still have yet to see across the board people actually adopting password manager. And actually, the best one, honestly, is 1Password. Don't use the one from Google, don't use Apple, don't use LastPass, don't use any other one except 1Password because it also, especially if you're on iPhone, it uses your face or fingerprint on your laptop to actually log in to all log into your one master password, and then it logs in. It saves both passwords, credit card information to check out with one checkout, and also addresses. So it fills out the address, fills out the card for if you're making payments, and then also fills out any login information. So it's one place when it comes to this type of very sensitive data. What I don't want you to have is get hacked. That's the worst thing that could happen. So it seems silly, but I just have to address it. And then everything I live or die based on my Apple Calendar. I manage everything color coded, work tasks, whether it be work, routines, even meetings, all is color coded, all everything rolls up, even TickTick, even ClickUp, even TidyCal, all the events roll up to just my Apple Calendar because you can manage multiple calendars inside of it. Because I need to manage it both on my computer and on my phone so that whenever I look at my calendar, I need to know I'm spending the time on the right action and actually spend one day a week every Sunday, 30 minutes, and I plan out my entire week. I just play Tetris. I drag and drop things, routines are already there. I can see the meeting notes and I can see recurring for bills, subscriptions, or anything like that. So I run my entire life off my calendar so that everything down to the minute, I know exactly what I should be doing and where I should be. It seems silly, but it's like these things, although they're not AI powered, just have just enough like I would be dangerous, like people would be dangerous just with Notion, TickTick, and an Apple Calendar. You'll get more work done than any AI tool that I could teach you fundamentally, which is wild. Ina says, does 1Password work with a Droid phone? Yes, they do. Great question. It works across tablets, phones. It just has one master password. And for example, too, I highly recommend sharing the password, the master password with also your family. So should anything happen, your family could also get access to, and keep things moving. It's the little things that I share. I wish every Mac came installed with Alfred. Alfred saves me 2 hours every single day. Again, if we combine all these, you're saving roughly almost 20 plus hours a week in time back to actually allow you to work smarter, not harder. Alfred is so powerful for just two things. So and it's a one-time buy. I think it's like 39 bucks, something like that. So what Alfred does right here is called search and browse. The time it takes for you to go any website, because let's be honest, 99% of the time you're going to different websites and jumping around somewhere on the browser, for example. I have every place that I need to go to bookmarked. So for example, I call this navigation time. The time it takes for me to open a browser, go here, type in Notion, log in, find the one file. Oh, that's not the file. I got to go and click around and find my document file. That whole time I just kind of like described, I call that navigation time online, like driving time, basically. That takes a ton of time to go and just find the place online that you need to go to actually do work. So Alfred, if I press my shift key twice, this little search bar pops up. And now Alfred will take me wherever I want. If I type documents, and DOC and just press enter, he's going to open Chrome, go to that bookmark, automatically load. And now I just took maybe what, 10 seconds now down to a second. So these little things add up, but Alfred is so fast for just navigating. But the other thing too is we copy a lot of text throughout the day, copy emails, copy text, copy images, screenshots, and stuff like that. Alfred also has a clipboard history, which is super dope. So it would actually remember all the things that you've copied throughout the day just to save you even more time. So I can see everything that I've ever copied for the last 24 hours, whether it be a text, an image, a file, anything that I've been working on throughout the day. I could quickly find it when I need it, for example. And it's these little things that actually add up time to save you. And Alfred is like amazing. I won't touch a Mac unless it has Alfred. I talked about Motion for email management. I still use one called Spark Email. This one, you technically have to scroll down. Don't use the new one. I know it's weird, but when you go down, you gotta go Spark 2 and get their old version. This is how I have 5 emails that I got to manage. It's across my email, my phone, and stuff like that. Spark is completely free and allows you to manage multiple emails. Because what you shouldn't be doing is you shouldn't open a Chrome browser tab or even whatever internet browser tab and going to log in your email from the browser. That's the worst thing that you could technically do, just from a productivity point of view. Spark email will log in. So you log in once and then you're done. It will always be logged in, which is nice. You can manage multiple emails. It could be Yahoo, Gmail, Outlook, whatever email client that you use. And then it has keyboard shortcuts so that you can quickly go through. I just rest my hand on my left keyboard. A is for archive, S is for spam, R is for reply, and I could quickly go through my inbox and achieve something. That's a really interesting concept. It's called inbox email zero. So my inbox on across all 5 of my emails has nothing in there because I clear it out every day. Because the worst thing that you could do is just keep your inbox as like a never-ending list that's always running. You're just, man, I hope someone emails me so it could go and hop to the top of the list. I know that thing. So trust, it's a Sparked is completely free. Doing that is going to allow because the time spent in emails is more time that you could get back. And it's these little things that actually have more impact into your day than any AI tool I could teach you. Cool. So let's bring it together. All these tools I shared, basically both the AI tools and the non-AI tools, both are equally as powerful at the end of the day to save you time, to reduce stress of trying to figure out where's the files, where's the task, where's the project, is who's on first, whatever. This is going to save you so that you're working effortlessly through the day. You could achieve what's called flow. So you're just flowing through the day, moving from one task to another. You're not overwhelmed. You're not playing firefighter. These tasks I use all of these tasks that I mentioned, or all of these tools that I mentioned, I use all of them every day to get more done in a day than most do an entire week. At the end of the day, this is going to save you time to help you close more deals and focus on what really matters. Last slide, and then I'm going to do questions. So I've talked through a lot of tools throughout this whole series. If you're serious about learning any of the tools and want coaching, mentorship, and actually want to stay up with the date with AI, because the scary truth is all of the tools that I just shared through this whole series, in about 2 months' time, they're going to change. AI changes and advances so much that, I mean, think of how fast when ChatGPT came out, DeepSeek, and now Gemini, how things evolve, and even GenSpark came out and Trump Manus. I mean, it's an arms race. So every month there's some new tool. It changes your workflow, and it's the one thing that if you fall anywhere behind, then you're actually your competitors will crush you, which is a whole different thing. So Simple Tech Skills is my website where basically we have coaching, mentorship, courses on everything that we just shared. We meet 3 times a week, and we all have nothing but entrepreneurs that are leveraging AI to basically build their dream business, social media content, all sorts of stuff. So I am now going to go through the meeting chat. Go ahead if you have any questions in the meeting chat itself. Please add your questions, and then I'm going to stay and answer all of your questions. And I want to say thank you so much for your patience and your time to learn AI throughout this whole series. I know I overwhelmed you with a ton of tools, but the best action item that I could say is pick one tool and just 30 minutes a day, even 15 minutes a day, play with that just one tool for 2 weeks. That's going to help you upskill yourself to learn how to use these new tools because basically traditionally you would do something, but now if you use this new AI tool, it's going to save you time. Just for example, like Gamma or even Gemini and stuff like that. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. And I get a water break. Adyan said, Addy, yeah, please forgive me, says, thank you so much. This was awesome insights, and I cannot wait to increase my productivity and level up my business the way I need to. I appreciate it so much. These are the best tools I use every day, and that I have 60 clients that I coach, and these are the tools that I teach them. I every week I show them how to use them, upskill them. It takes them about just maybe like 2 weeks to learn the new skill set to actually learn to adopt them. But once they start adopting these tools, now they could do more work, again, more work in a day than most do in a week, and it's such an insane competitive advantage. And if you want to unmute yourself, you definitely unmute yourself and ask a question as well too. Nice. Everyone's so patient. Awesome. So I'm Jonathan
John,
Kuhn. Oh,
John, I got
yes.
one for you. I got one for you, just because I'm kind of familiar with the AI stuff, and I've been doing a lot with high level on myself.
Right.
But I would love to know, like, because I think everybody here is probably looking for tangible takeaways. You have a ton of awesome tools, a ton of knowledge that you gave. What if you are an agent, you have $100 a month that you want to spend on AI, and you're like, I don't know much about it, and you're going to start the stack. You're going to give me $100 worth of tools, and they don't know anything about it. So high level's probably out. What would you say are like the top five tools for $100 or whatever you can come up with that you were like, hey, this is where you start. Learn these five tools. You go from there.
That's such a good question. So number one is I would add a chatbot to your workflow, and I would do chat based because it's very easy to use and you could get like 100 questions just on the free plan. So because you're bombarded with questions at the end of the day, and also you get emails, FAQ questions and stuff like that, either from yourself, your clients, or from your team, I would first, number one, build a chatbot that knows everything, could kind of like basically clone my brain, if you think of it like that way, and I could give that to anyone. And that's actually like one, it's reduced questions with between me and my team. Second, it's also worked great with my clients. They now have a chatbot. They get asked all sorts of questions about things that I know, references, best AI tools, and so forth. And then also on my website, it's actually reduced. I used to get 20 emails a day about questions about products, services, everything. It's actually reduced all of them and eliminated. And then it gets smarter over time. That's number one. Number two, I would actually look at Lindy, because now you need to build agents to now start automating some type of workflow in your business. And if I had to pick up one out of all of them, I would definitely go with Lindy, because now you don't need skill sets of like Zapier or any of those type of automation, but you can now build agents to respond, to do work, to give tasks, and they'll streamline your workflow. That would be another. Um, Alfred would definitely be you'd be surprised, Alfred, how much that just saves you time just touching a computer. Honestly, it's the little things. And then Metrical would probably be the next one because fundamentally, if I want more leads, which equals more sales, obviously, I need to I need to publish more content on multiple social media channels fundamentally. So what's actually doubled my lead flow to my business without adding any AI tool is actually just publishing more content on more social media platforms consistently. So Metrical is critical to that process because this brings me leads and sales every single day, and I don't have to do anything, which is so nice. It's all going to come down to content. And then last one is man, it's actually a split between ClickUp. I can't rave about ClickUp so much, especially if you're in a team. If you're in a team and you guys need to, because there's Go High Level, which is basically on the front end of like marketing sales automation. Most of the biggest impact is also the limitation is how many actually clients and details and information that you can actually work, and also your team, also especially for passing tasks back and forth. ClickUp for $9 a month is going to be critical for every business to streamline their back end operations fundamentally. And I'm not talking just with clients in the CRM. I'm also talking about finance, marketing, sales, everyone across the board gets pulled together so that everyone can see exactly what's going to be done. And then you can start doing some really dope automations. And then my last one would be TickTick. because you need to manage your day down to the minute. The personal tasks, plus we all have a life as well too. So we also need to have work-life balance in some shape way. So TickTick actually for task management is actually I would not be able to get any work done effortlessly if it wasn't for TickTick. It seems silly, but these type of tools are like super powerful. TickTick's $4. ClickUp's $9. Chatbase is free for 100 questions. Alfred's a one-time buy of $39. So that roughly will get you there. And then Lindy, I think, what was Lindy for the pricing? So now you're building AI agents, probably less than $50 a month. So a little over, no, about 120. That's a
Awesome.
good question.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
Ina says, could you please go over all the names of the tools that you just talked about? I want to make sure I have them all. Yeah. So I'm gonna go to documents. And then I'm going to start off this document right here. So these are most of the ones that I just mentioned. So ChatGPT for custom GPT, Fathom for AI note-taking, Gemini Pro, Perplexity for quick internet search. Gemini is like your deep researching, you need something with critical thinking. GenSpark is for anything comprehensive research on the web. Cider, AI writing assistant, Metrical for social media posting, chat-based to quickly build a chatbot, very easy to deploy. ClickUp, task and project management. Motion is actually really powerful if you want just an all-in-one tool to just manage your time and your calendar as well too. I highly recommend to take a screenshot. That's going to be also too. What are some of the other ones? And then Gamma for presentations, Lindy for AI agents. Those are going to be there's Lindy slash Relevance, both equally basically do the same thing. But you're going to start adding AI agents to your workflow. Traditionally, you'll think of like Zapier. Oh, I want Zapier to automate some work and stuff like that. Now the new workflow is basically going to be Lindy or Relevance to build basically agents. I define an agent as it just has some custom knowledge and access to some tools so that it could help you basically streamline your workflow from there. Alfred for Mac, TidyCal, for calendar. I'm actually paste these in there as well too. TidyCal for calendar, Apple Calendar, 1Password. Think that is mostly all of them. Yeah. So we talked about 17 tools that will drastically change your life. So let me see if I could copy paste this inside the meetings. Oop. Oh, nice. So I put that in the chat right now so everyone could copy paste, take a screenshot, right click copy. That'll work there. Those are very powerful. Great question. Let's see. Deanna says, this has been so eye-opening, Jonathan. Thank you so much for sharing. No, I appreciate each and every one of you. Like, honestly, I know AI changes every week. Everyone's opening up social media, the news, and getting overwhelmed of, oh, some AI has ChatGPT version 14.9 just came out and it does your taxes and laundry. And you're like, what do I need to do? Like, is it important? Is it not? Fundamentally, you can rock these tools that I shared right here and be good for the next like year fundamentally. Like you could just stick with those tools right there and for the next year, just master and go deep into those tools. That's gonna like drastic. Because at the end of the day, any one of those, especially combined, will save you 20 hours a week. So you technically get a free day out of the whole week just for working smarter, not harder, just using these tools. And then combined, it's dangerous. It's like a dangerous combination. Great questions. Nice. Anyone else? Any questions? And also you can unmute yourself and ask too.
Hey, Jonathan. I'm gonna speak for some of the agents I've talked to over the past few weeks. They're a little overwhelmed. So I know you've gone over a lot, and these are all great tools and everything. But if an agent were to come to you and saying, I'm really overwhelmed with all this stuff, where should I start? What would you say?
So the best thing is whenever adopting a new tool, whether it doesn't really matter any tool, the first thing I would say is one tool for every 3 weeks. It's roughly 3 to 4 weeks, is roughly how long it takes for you to change your workflow or adopt a new tool and then get into a new routine from it. So yes, I shared probably the best tools, but next, the upskilling part of like adding it to your workflow. Play with each of these tools for just 15 minutes a day on your free time, just like with no business objective, just kind of press buttons and see what it does fundamentally. If we're to actually go to learn any of these tools, honestly, YouTube, but technically with YouTube, I'm gonna put whatever, TidyCal. YouTube basically is not, I consider it YouTube University, but TidyCal. Pick any of these tools. You could go to YouTube and you'll find a ton of free tutorials, but YouTube pairs really importantly with YouTube Premium. I think it's like 14 bucks a month, something like that. That's going to allow you to watch it ad free. That's what's really going to help you because now you have a place to go learn how to use each and every of these tools. And probably about three videos, you'll get the gist of how to use them. And then second, YouTube Premium allows you to watch it with ad free. You're going to pick one tool for 3 weeks and could be longer, could be shorter until you're comfortable using that tool versus what you were doing previously. And then the way I kind of work everything up, I actually have a very interesting slide. Let me go to Canva. When I coach entrepreneurs and I tell them, okay, if we think about everything in AI and we think about where to start and where to end, like almost like a stairway, this is surprisingly the steps that I take them through. It's like number one, you got to be on a Mac. From a Mac, then we could get you into Alfred. That's going to just change how you just touch a computer efficiently. Then we could go through some basic software from there, like 1Password, email management, calendar management. Because I need to help you get organized with your time and your tasks. Then from there, we can look at marketing systems. Yes, Go High Level is actually so instead of doing Go High Level, actually what I've been also recommending for people too is honestly just a link tree. A link tree that you could just put a link in bio and then one-click button. The one-click button could either go to your calendar, which is TidyCal, basically, or you can have a one-click button go to a form and whatever your form is for your website, basically. Websites are basically dead because most of your attention is going to be on social media. As soon as they know, like, and trust you, get a ton of value from your content and stuff like that, they're going to want to get in touch as quickly as possible. A link tree with a form or a link tree and a calendar is like the quickest way, speed to lead as well too. Then if you're on a team, I would highly recommend next adopting ClickUp. From there, where's that slide? There we go. So that you can now get into automation. So just streamlining your workflow, ClickUp is going to be the easiest for team projects and stuff. Content, honestly, Metrical is going to be great to help you post. Then you can skip to chatbots, which is chat-based. Basically, if I need a chatbot that I can quickly give some information and put it somewhere on my website or internally with my team so that I can reduce the amount of questions or emails that I get, that would be great. And it gets smarter over time, basically, which is cool. Then if I want to like streamline any type of workflow, and I would take each of these buckets or levels and spend just 1 month on each level. That's where it's like, this is going to be not something that it just takes time for everyone to kind of just adopt a new workflow. So for every month, you're just going to list out, okay, today we're just going to look at our computers. Next, we're going to look at basic productivity, email, task management, calendar management. Then we'll look at our marketing system. Rather than Go High Level, just a link tree, something quickly to get in contact because websites are technically dead now. Hey, our team's kind of scattered on tasks and projects. We could start using ClickUp so that we could streamline and pass tasks to each other and automate. But this are literally our entire organization: tasks, projects, clients, finance, marketing, all that stuff. Hey, we're getting a lot of questions from inbound anywhere. Let's put up chatbots. There's also ManyChat as well too, something to automatically because also the other thing is like what I don't want to like Go High Level is very complex to set up as well too. So chatbots, chat base actually would go on the website. Chat ManyChat will answer on your social media, which is actually really cool. And they use this AI, which is nice. So now you're responding to questions in the DMs because believe it or not, your sales are actually in your DMs now. You should actually be commenting. The people that are commenting on your content, I'll send you questions in the DMs. Those are your leads now. They're not going to go to your website anymore, or like less and less are. So the more that you can engage your clients on social media. Agents, Lindy, and basically Relevance are the easiest of the two tools to start adding AI agents to like answer emails, write personalized messages, streamline some workflow from one step to another step, basically from there. Um, and it's going to take time. It's going to like slowly one level a day or one level a month, sorry. And in each level, you're going to use one of those 17 tools, basically. That's gonna, and then take your time, play with it, because I'd rather you like those 17 tools fundamentally aren't going to change for the rest of the year, honestly. So you could just master those, get really good at those. And each one is going to save you a ton of time over time. So it's a slow process and there's a lot, but don't worry. It's like take your time, pick a tool a month, go save. I used to go to Google. Now I'm going to practice going to Perplexity. Oh, now I need something a little more deeper research than Perplexity. Okay, I'm gonna try out GenSpark, something like that. So each of these tools are going to help streamline so that everyone could work a little more efficiently. Ines, I love this question. Do we really need a Mac? Could we use a regular computer? Unfortunately, no. I wish I can just say like, yeah, take any PC and you could do all this cool stuff. The two barriers that I get with when I coach, because I've coached 700 entrepreneurs. Right now I have a roster of about 61 clients that I work with. Everyone's trying to increase their productivity and get more work done. We waste the entire session for everyone that has a PC just dealing with the issue of a computer, driver issues, something's out of date, some software just doesn't work with Windows. It is such a or bloatware on top of it. It's slow, it's buggy, you got to wait for it to load and stuff like that. And so you can buy a refurbished Mac. They're actually more affordable, so much so it's like you could buy Mac Minis now from don't buy the new stuff. There's no need. Anything Mac, the only two things is like an M1 and 16 gig memory. So an M1 chip is enough and 16 gigabyte memory. For example, because I also have to do tech support for my entire community of 100 entrepreneurs. We do not support tech support for PC because they'll come in and be like, the driver's not working, the issue's not, and it's very interesting questions. We force everyone in the community to adopt Mac, and we don't have any tech issues with computer stuff. Things just work. And now we could get into the software. We could start working with automations. We could start working with, because basically all the tools, just most of them, all are accessed through a browser fundamentally. Like, so you could get like a MacBook. If you want something mobile, a MacBook Air refurbished, very easy. If you want like a desktop version, like the Mac Minis now, this one's an M1 for like 359. So it's like, I don't recommend the new stuff. If you can, great. But there's no need. Buy refurbished, buy something simple, but at least an M1 chip and at least 16 gig. It's gonna give you longevity because now where me and my students are, we're now downloading the AI large language models onto our computer so that we can have private automation bots so that we don't have to pay subscriptions for, which is that's a whole nother level kind of thing. You can't do that on a PC. And so this is just the computer that you touch is just going to be really help you just be productive because everything's now in the digital world kind of thing. So it's basically that's why I teach a lot of like computer literacy. It's like we need to get a password manager, we need to get you on Notion, we need to get you on a Mac, and then we also need to get you Alfred. Just those things alone, and throw a little tick on top of that, it's going to 10x your productivity more than any other AI tool I could teach you fundamentally, honestly, which is a very big thing. Cool, good question. I see. I'm just taking notes. It's just like, oh, this is great. It's like, don't worry. I'll convert a lot of people. It's like it's going to be worth it in the long run. But excellent questions. I'll just close some of these tabs. I'm just closing tabs. That's all. So yes, Angela mentioned that the recording link will go out tomorrow via email so that you could get all that. Also be sure to copy paste. I'll paste it one more time. All the tools in. See, look, I'm gonna use Alfred. Alfred, I copied the list of all the tools along with all the other things. I'm like, oh yeah, let me get that list. Let me pull it back and let me paste it. So it's little things that add up, save time so that you could work smarter, not harder, so that you're basically get the work done that you need to, and then go spend time with family, go spend time with your clients, go serve, go be present with them. That's going to be the main thing is all this stuff is just to save you time so you could be more present with clients and family and serve them. Nice.
John, I got one more question for you if
Please,
nobody else has
please.
some.
Yeah, please, please.
Lovable. Have you messed with that yet? It has
Yes.
nothing to do with this. It's like, but like as far as creating the app, thoughts on that?
Yes. So we actually, um, when you're building custom GPTs to do certain tasks, like, hey, I want you to do something like real stuff like that, you're going to outgrow it pretty quickly. Because fundamentally, what you really want to build is you want to build an app that does something for your business or for your work or something like that. The workflow is Lovable is such a great skill set to. I recommend everyone just sign up to play with it and just have it build a website for you. Just say, hey, here's all the information about me, build a website. Just as that is like your first project. It is so powerful to build a tool that you can have buttons. If you wish you had your own app that you could click a button that does something, it is very powerful. Also, if you want to build your own MLS kind of thing, like it is pretty, and then a lot of people at the end of the day, everyone wants to make FU money. You can build an app that you could then sell as a tool to your clients or something like that. So we did an exercise inside of our AI community because we're teaching our students how to build apps using Lovable. The workflow is Lovable is great for building a very nice, beautiful app basically. So and this took no effort. Like literally, and here's the hack too. I need to show you guys this. It's called a product requirement document. It's just a fancy name for a scope for what does your app want to do. That's all it is. Just a fancy name just to say, hey, this document has everything. If I were to give this to a software developer, I want my app to do this, this, and you don't have to know what it's about. So take your app idea that you want and just talk to ChatGPT and say, hey, ChatGPT, can you give me a product requirement document for my app that does blah, 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 blah? It's going to spit out some like almost looks like a contract kind of like essay kind of thing. You don't even have to read it. Take that and then give it to Lovable. And that's how Lovable is going to build an app really quickly versus because everything, all these tools across the board, they'll always output at the quality of your input. So how good your prompt is or what you requested it. So that asking ChatGPT to say, hey, can you write me a product requirement document? I don't know what it is, but apparently it's important. Then take that and give it to Lovable. And Lovable, like this is an app that we built literally in less than an hour. This is just a nutrition tracker. It creates a login, blah at g blah blah. I think if I do this at gmail.com, this took no effort and no, I'm even gonna say no sophistication, like no, like just like you're talking to someone, like, hey, I want my app to do this, and it will infer or figure out what you want to do. So you can have different boards that do different things, basically store some data. You can have a chatbot like feature that will connect to ChatGPT inside of it. You can have an account that it stores information related to that user privately, and then you could publish it on the web with some .com for like $1 a year, which is actually kind of cool. But here's the caveat. You're not going to build the whole feature or whole app in Lovable. Lovable is just going to get you the nice looking user interface. You then move it over to Cursor, and Cursor is just another AI building tool. And Cursor, you don't have to know anything about coding. Trust, nothing about coding. You're just, as long as you could just explain clearly what you want it to do or change, that's more than enough already. Cursor is actually going to do all the minute changes to your app to build it. And then that's honestly YouTube University, type Lovable, watch some tutorials. We did Lovable. We did one tutorial was actually I would recommend probably the best one. If I could find, yeah, this dude. He's actually from
Hello
Lovable.
guys, and welcome
I'll put
to
this
the
in the chat.
comprehensive tutorial
Building
of
an
Lovable.
app
In this video, I'm going
is
to be building an
surprisingly
AI.
There we go. Building an app is actually a surprisingly valuable skill set now. It's very easy to learn, very easy to do. And once you build your first app, I recommend everyone just build a website is like the easiest of all the examples. Then you'll get the gist of it, and then you could go a little wilder. We went through this exercise on YouTube, but now you could build apps. They could serve your personal preference. Like, and just as a last example, I'm a huge book nerd, and especially in personal development. So I actually turn books into I turn books into interactive video games. So this is the book based off Napoleon's Hills. I think it's like get the rich one, I forgot the name. So this app is basically for my own personal enjoyment that goes through all the principles of that are inside of the book, and it gamifies learning so that rather than me read the book and take the lessons from the book, I built an app that has all the principles from the book that I could actually go through each lesson, and then start going, what was the main principle of it? Okay, cool. How can I apply it to my life? So I've actually gamified my learning experience on how I learned, which is this is a very powerful. And then when you check it off, you kind of like accrue points. Hey, max XP, dope. But it basically, this was I like me trying to build an app that took no effort. I was like, here's the book. I gave it to Gemini because it has a whole window. I said, Gemini, take this book and turn it into a product requirement document. I don't even have to know what that means. Gemini gives me a whole output. I copy paste that into Lovable, and I said I didn't even say anything else. I just pasted it in there, and it built this. And I was like, what? I don't even know what's going on. Like, how, like that's wild. So play with Lovable. It's a very powerful skill set. A lot of these tools. Good question.
Thank you.
Nice. I wish I could have your brain for a couple years. I know I got all my clients are like, John, can you clone yourself, please? I'm like, you have like answers on GPT. I just nerd out on this stuff. But it's a good time to play with AI. AI does so much good. I use chat. If I had to pick just one out of everything, just master ChatGPT, honestly. Like chat, if I were to just one thing you could walk away is just the importance of just going deep into just mastering one tool. ChatGPT's all. Like it's going and then build two things. One's a business coach, one's a life coach. Those are actually the top two use cases of AI is actually have one that's a therapist or life coach, and then another one that's like a business coach or advisor, because that's basically how it's going to it's all AI does is two things: increase your productivity, meaning the time it takes a task to get done, right? You could do it a little bit faster, or make better strategic decisions. Hey, I'm thinking about this, this, and this. What do you think is the best case? Or how do I solve? A client came to me with a legal question. I'm not an attorney, but I was like, hey, I know how to use ChatGPT, and it's actually helped me win a small claims court case for one of my family members. I was like, oh, and they're like, how'd you do that? What'd you do? And I was like, it's just ChatGPT. I was like, I just play with it the most out of all the other tools fundamentally. One day I'll make John GPT. So no, you guys have been amazing. I'm truly grateful for each and every one of you for showing up, for learning. Don't feel overwhelmed. Just play with ChatGPT is more than enough. And with time, if you ever want to explore other ones, 15 minutes and just sign up for an account, play with the buttons with just press buttons. You can never break anything, honestly. You just may find, oh, that's actually, and then if you have like today I had to use Gamma. I was like, I could make presentations with Canva, but they look like a fifth grader made them, or I could try this Gamma thing that everyone talks about. So let me try Gamma. So I learned Gamma this morning, and I better presentation than I could have made like on my own kind of thing. So each of these things just saved you time at the end of the day.